Yeah, honestly, I think Homestuck is a brain virus. Homestuck is a brain virus that was released onto the internet many, many years ago. It infected a lot of people, completely took over their lives, fully defined like a whole specific generation of online person, their identities, the ways they thought about themselves, the way that they engage with media, like completely took them over, defined them on a fundamental human level, and then it sort of ended. And all of those Homestuck fans then went on to do 100 million things that were inspired by Homestuck, and which have kind of quietly shaped a lot of culture for quite a long time at this point. Perhaps most famously, Undertale does not exist without Homestuck, right? Undertale doesn't exist, Deltarune doesn't. Like, Toby Fox's whole thing was birthed in part from membership, like from a deep engagement with Homestuck. And there's and I don't know the full lore of all of this. I don't know that much about Homestuck, but a lot of what Homestuck did, a lot of what it innovated, a lot of the things that, a lot of the influences that it birthed are there are authors and comic book creators and voice actors and musicians and all kinds of people that you would never think of it. They got their creative start with Homestuck stuff, with fan trolls and things like that. So Homestuck is one of those things that if you don't know about it, then you really don't know about it, and I really don't know about it. But if you do know about it, there's a good chance that it's a fundamental core part of your whole personality and the entire way that you conceptualize yourself. Yeah, so it's an extremely virulent and powerful brain virus, which I believe Homestuck ended. And then it was sort of tried to revive it at some point or another, and there was this project to create a bunch of more Homestuck media officially. There's a point-and-click video game that's legendary as a piece of vaporware that they've been working on for, I don't know, 8 years or something. A whole bunch of stuff where Homestuck sort of seems to have gotten a little bit stuck in the gravity of its own influence, and sort of in the momentum of its own enormous legacy. It certainly, from an outside perspective, someone who does not know a lot about Homestuck, and I don't know about the drama, and there is a lot of drama that surrounded Homestuck, but I do know that Homestuck isn't dead so much as the people who currently hold the reins of Homestuck seem to be having a lot of trouble, or seem to have been having a lot of trouble figuring out what to do with it next. And so I guess now Spindlehorse, another another studio that fortunately is undramatic and does not attract any kind of controversy, are now going to be animating an adaptation of Homestuck. And I have never been more happy that I am not on Twitter anymore. I have never been more happy that I am not on Twitter anymore. Man, I might have to lock down some shit on Tumblr as well, because oh boy, I can imagine out in the trenches of the discourse wars, it's gonna be something. Whew. Anyway, okay, I guess Spindlehorse is doing Homestuck. I guess that's interesting. I guess that means I'm gonna have to know something about Homestuck then. The problem, do you know what the problem is? Do you know what the big fucking problem is? The really big problem that I have right now? Do you know the really big problem I have right now? Is if they're doing an adaptation of Homestuck, and it's Spindlehorse, and it's more or less at their usual level of animation quality and things like that, then I kind of have to watch it, right? I kind of have to, because Spindlehorse, they do pretty good fucking animation, right? Which means I'm gonna be experiencing the story, and I'm gonna be responding to it, and I'm gonna be critical of it, which means I'm gonna make Homestuck fans unhappy. And I've seen what happens when you make Homestuck fans unhappy. It's not pretty. So I'm a little worried about that. The other thing I'm worried about is that if I'm watching whatever the fuck Spindlehorse animated Homestuck show, whatever it is, I'm probably gonna sit there watching it feeling like, I really want to see the original webcomic bits that this is adapted from. And that's a problem, because in order to do that, I'd have to read Homestuck. And Homestuck is a lot. There's a lot. I am already working on One Piece, I cannot be getting myself into that at this age, at my advanced and crumbling physical condition and my old age. I cannot possibly be expected to get into and begin to attempt to understand Homestuck. Nonetheless, that's a problem for another day. That's a problem for another day. I'm sure that won't come out until some inconvenient point in time where I have a million other things I should be doing, and then they drop this thing, and then that's the thing I'm gonna have to do. I'm sure Vivsipop is has like a little spy drone hovering outside the home of Danny Mata, waiting for the moment he chooses to go on vacation, to post the thing. Oh, poor Danny. Poor Danny is gonna have to figure out what Homestuck is too. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Maybe not for him, but it's gonna be fun for me. Danny and I are acquaintances, so it's not. I'm not taking a shot at him. He's a good guy. Anyway, there's a short. There's a hell of a boss short. Let's start with that, and after that, we'll do Gaslight District episode 1. Yeah. Wow, not a hybrid. Wife took the kids. Loser. What a bitch car. Okay. Target, Joe Schmo. Backwards ass New Mexico. I mean, just look at him, you know? Loitered racistly.
Sir, focus on the road! I'm making sure that's the right guy, okay? Calm down, Mox. I am a fantastic driver. I'm driving out.
Okay, I do appreciate the joke that he's like out the window with a sniper rifle at the guy, and number one, that the guy isn't seeing it at all, because I mean, it's America. This is just a normal Thursday, right? Pretty sure that's what it's like. And also, like, it's just a good little visual gag, right? Like using the sniper rifle at like 6 feet apart.
Dick driver. I'm driving out. Hold on, I wonder if I can. No, almost had him.
Crumbs in a blanket. Just hold the wheel. I'll shoot.
Nice and steady.
Perfect. Look out!
Fuck the shit back into my stomach.
Yes, Hermes. What is it? Hermes is yowling outside my door. I was trying to ignore it, but I couldn't. So, okay. So we're doing like an action scene, car chase kind of thing here. I quite like the way they're approaching it in like this frontal shot, right? Where we have like the road, which is composed entirely of all of these speed lines. That's like that sort of gives the sense of speed. And then like some speed lines going through the air, and then this little thing with the background, right? Like where you can see the hilltop in the background, they're slowly receding away. Like that's enough to give you the sense of like placement, location, and speed, so that you're kind of, okay, you get it. Like it's cars, there's driving, there's fast, we're moving quickly. That's enough to sort of get the sense of speed and location across. This shot, I don't like so much. Especially because, like, there's a couple of things. Like, I kind of don't like this shot at all. First of all, because just, I think the animation of the van is a little bit lazy here, because it's just kind of motion tweening back and forth, like left to right. Is just kind of translating without really having any of that wiggle. Like the thing that makes the previous shot work is that, right? Like that we get this wiggle back and forth from the car that sort of implies a level of like actual motion. You can see like a little bit of like that wobbling, that secondary motion. This car is maybe a little bit too static, but you know, whatever. And then in like the other shot here, first of all, we lack that sense of placement, right? Like we just have the road with the speed lines. The cars are not properly aligned to the speed lines. You can see, like, insofar as you can trace a vanishing point on the cars, that vanishing point does not line up with the perfectly, like, horizontal construction of the speed line. So it looks like this car especially should be traveling a little bit perpendicular to the road. So should the van. And then that the van's translation back and forth is just this very sort of like, just like we're just taking a PNG and sort of like washing it back and forth on the screen, that's a little bit like, eh. That took me out of it a little bit. I really don't think that worked very well. Which is a little bit unusual. Like, Spindlehorse usually, like, would be a studio that would put, like, an unreasonable amount of effort into a shot like this. I'm saying this, it's not like this is an important shot. Like, it's not like this is like, oh, this was the dramatic crux of the whole thing. It's like a, what is it? Like a 1 second, 1.5 second shot that doesn't really matter. It's just, I couldn't help but notice that this kind of looked a little bad.
Crumbs in a blanket.
Like, I think maybe they're trying to emphasize the jokiness, like, sort of, they're trying to match the tone, that this is not really a tense action scene, this is a comedy tone, by maybe deliberately doing a sort of kind of low-rent, sort of cheap-looking animation for a second, just to sort of match that a little bit. I just don't think it works. Especially in contrast with, like, this shot, which is way, way, way better. Where there's like a bunch of effort going into animating like this cop. Is that a motorcycle? I guess it's a motorcycle. Cop motorcycle, like falling over, like disappearing, exploding. Like, if you're gonna do that sort of comedy, we're deliberately animating this poorly kind of beat, you kind of have to match that approach, like, for more than 1.25 seconds in order to make it land, I think.
Crumbs in a blanket. Just hold the wheel. I'll shoot.
Nice and steady.
Perfect.
I do like that Mox gets visibly kind of horny about shooting people. I've always liked that Moxie does have, like, Moxie and Millie both have that thing of, like, they mutually get really kind of horned up about killing. It's something I wish they would explore a little bit more with the characters, because, like, Moxie most of the time is a little bit of a wet blanket, right? Like the fact that he genuinely kind of takes pleasure in killing, lining up the perfect shot. I think that's a nice part of his character that's, like, worth playing with more.
Look out! Fuck the shit back into my stomach!
Ooh, that's a nice explosion. Look at that. Oh, that's very good. Like, the way that you see it grows out from the little star and then, like, propagates. One thing I love about the way, like, when people, there's so many different ways to render and animate an explosion. I quite like this one where, like, we start with, like, the bright white, and then, like, we have these other colors as the explosion cools down, kind of blooming out from inside, right? Almost like sort of liquid in a way. I quite like that.
Hell, I guess that all worked out then. Job well done. We can go home now.
That fucker cut me off.
Now, sir, with all due respect, the mission was...
That fucker cut me off!
Yeah, here again, that's not properly aligned. Oh. And that kind of takes me out of it a little bit. Like if he's turned that much more, like, that should align with that doesn't align with the speed lines and the perspective of the speed lines. That doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. That annoys me. It bothers me. The rest of the shot is fine, but the car not being properly aligned really does annoy me.
Sir, think about this for a second. Yes, this guy is a huge, gaping asshole, but killing him is a huge risk.
I'm not gonna kill him. I'm gonna fucking yell at him or something. I haven't figured it out yet!
Also a bad idea, sir. But fine, if you must, just catch up with him and get it over with.
The fucking thing I'm trying to do, Mox!
Okay, so I'm gonna take a shot at how this goes, which is that they're gonna pull up next to him. Blitz is gonna yell at him. He's gonna yell back and, like, insult Blitz better, and then things are gonna escalate from there. Because what we're doing here is we're playing with Blitz's anger issues, right? Kes the deal with you. Oh my god. I do like the animation on his car here, though. Or is it going to be a thing of like, this is like a little old granny? Like, this is like some 95-year-old woman, just to make it even funnier? But I do like the animation on it. Like, you can see the anticipation here, right? Like, as the car is about to sideswipe the one to the left, you can see that little turn up there. I wonder if that's hand animated, or if, like, because if you were doing this, if I was trying to animate a shot like this, which I would never do, because I'm not a good enough animator for that, I would probably have like a 3D model and rotoscope it, like for all of the cars. I'd make 3D models, rotoscope the animation. Or just do 3D animation and put some shaders on it to make it look well enough. I don't think they've done that necessarily here, though. Although that would be the sensible thing to do. Like, because one thing about animating cars, we've talked about this before. Cars are motherfuckers as objects. They're bastards. They are like these complex, like mechanical objects that oftentimes tend to have like curves and organic shapes, but they don't move in organic ways, right? They move in rigid, metallic, like completely constructed kind of ways. And that means like you can't use any of the tricks of character animation where you can like deform, you can twist, you can change, like there's all kind of fluidity that you can do with like an actual like flesh and blood character that you kind of can't get away with a fucking car unless you're doing like full animation, like fully doing some fucking Disney ass like animating the car like it's fully a character. But when you want to animate the car in a way that it remains looking like a mechanical object, it's a bastard and a half. Like for 101 Dalmatians, right? Like Cruella de Vil's car is like a major sort of set piece in that movie. It's a little bit of a low budget Disney movie, but like Cruella de Vil's car is kind of important. Like it's a big part of like the way that she becomes a villainous threat as a character. The animators were horrified at the idea of having to animate that fucking thing driving down streets and doing all kinds of complex motion, so they rotoscoped it. They built a physical model of Cruella de Vil's car and photographed it and filmed it, and then they rotoscoped that shit for a lot of the shots and like using it very closely as reference because the animators just did not want to have to do that shit by hand. And to be fair, they also rotoscope human actors all the time. They also reference human actors all the time very closely. But the car was like they made a very complex model of the car and just kind of went, fuck you, we're photographing you, and then we're tracing over that because fucking cars. Cars are difficult. Cars are bastards, right? Like there's many different ways to approach it. I like the way that they're animating this car here. Like I like that you can see like the anticipation, like how it's winding up in a way that doesn't make any fucking sense, like sort of physically in terms of how cars move, but which lets you parse like, oh, like it's rearing up, making a move. Same thing here. Like you can see that little bit of anticipation as it like lowers to the road a little bit more and then swings out like to sort of go for the next one. Same thing here. Like when it speeds forward to the back of the quesadilla truck, you can see how once it slows down behind the truck, there's that little moment, like little action of settling there that I really like. Like I really like how the cars are animated in this particular shot because like there's a real sense of weight and gravity to them that like so the shots that I've been criticizing really were kind of missing any sense of that. Even if like that doesn't make any like I don't know that you can do that in a car, like just knocking on the back of something like that. Admittedly, I don't have a driver's license, so what do I know?
Gosh, yeah, he's really hightailing it. What do you think he's in such a hurry for?
I don't know, probably to go blow his fucking son.
What if it's a genuine emergency? What if he just found out a family member is in the hospital? Or what if he's late for a wedding and he's the best man? Or...
Oh, look. Right there, that's the same fucking spot I almost hit him. See, it's not my driving, it's the fucking thing he does.
I never said it was your driving. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Ooh, very nice. Yeah, again, like, I would be surprised if they're not rotoscoping this. I do think it is hand animated. It certainly looks that way to me. But I'd be surprised if they aren't rotoscoping over a 3D model for this, because this looks like... Maybe there aren't. Like, maybe there's some weird freak at Spindlehorse who's like, no, I'll animate that car by hand. Fuck you. But again, the motion, like the movement... It's really nice. I like the cones as well. They don't make any sense, but again, they're there for the same reason that like boxes and things are there in like chase scenes in car movies. It's like so that the car has something that it can throw around to like elevate the drama of it. Nice animation on those cones, especially the ones that are flying into the foreground as well. Look at that.
Oh yeah, keep defending this.
I never did. In fact, I agree with you. But
But what?
I just think you're overreacting.
I have not reacted yet. Roll your window down.
Okay, very good. Yeah, like the red hat with the white text saying white man. Very good. Again, very nice. Here we get some real nice animation on those cars. Again, like that use of like anticipation and wind up and like follow through on the actions. Like very well done on like mechanical objects like this.
Roll your window down. Roll your window down. Face me. Oh, what the fuck?
okay, he is a really bad.
Aw. I thought it was gonna be like a funnier guy than that. It's just an average American driver. I assume. I like his animation. Like, that's an interesting... Okay. Yeah, that's actually kind of a complex rotation. Like, look at his character design. Like, look at the way he's put together. Like, there's a lot of parts there. You could have animated that as a much simpler face if you wanted to. But they've given him, like, a relatively complex character design. Look at the stuff the animator is doing, like, with the jaw sort of trailing his motion, right? Like the top of the head moves first and the jaw just kind of, like, flies around like it's being dragged by the top of his head. I quite like that. I do hope it's not a thing of, like, that guy's having, like, a genuine mental health emergency.
Oh, what the fuck?
Okay, he is a really bad driver.
He is the worst driver.
But are there not worse people out there than bad drivers?
You can tell a lot about a person by how they drive, Fox. Watch. See that? He's tailgating me now. He could have just as easily went right the fuck around. The whole road is open, but nope, right my ass. I knew he'd do this. I knew it. I fucking knew this little brake jack.
Oh, well, there we go. Well, that's cute. Insurance? No thanks. Jesus has me covered. If I was more of a driver, I'd probably sort of engage with this more. Hey, did they not just start selling car decal merch in the Spindlehorse store? I think I saw a post about that. Sneaky, 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 but then that's how the business works for Spindlehorse. I don't think I've ever seen a car trip on nothing before. Just kind of like, oh, road! Oh, no! It's kind of stumbling over its own feet. Not that it matters. Like, here, again, like, here, the alignment between, like, the backgrounds and the speedlines is much better. Oh, that's pretty good. Look at the way the truck reacts when it gets hit. Like, you can see the trailer being, like, pushed up and, like, the whole front cab of the truck coming down to sort of react to that unbalancing. Okay, I need to catch this out. Hang on. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, there's no way in hell they didn't rotoscope this fucking truck. There's no way in hell they didn't rotoscope it. But I think it is rotoscoped. Like, it's hard to tell, though. genuinely, they could be doing a 3D model with like a set of shaders to really sort of push the cartoony aesthetic. My sense is that it's rotoscoped, just because of some of the ways in which the lines alias and blend, but they don't have the boil that I would expect from like fully, like it's being kept very consistent. Yeah, I don't know, like it's either rotoscoped or it's some mixture of like hand-drawn, because like if it was fully hand animated, I would expect to see a little bit more boil on things like this, like this little bit in the door. I would expect to see that change positions a little bit more. But on the other hand, look at that. Look at that line just disappearing. That says to me hand animated, but it's definitely going to have to be rotoscoped. There is a consistency of like shape and form to this. Which I think like you can't achieve without, like, when the object is this fucking complex. And there's definitely something about the way the lines render on the outside of the volumes here that, like, sometimes that feels kind of like, yeah, this shot, by contrast, like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know if these are rotoscoped and hand animated, or if they're doing a little cheeky 3D shot insert. Either way, like, my compliments to the compositor for putting it, like, if it's a 3D shot, well put together. And really good, like, if this is fully a 3D shot, right, like, actually 3D models that are just kind of doing their thing, then I gotta give compliments to the compositor on making sure that that shit blends together with, like, the 2D generated assets. I would expect it's like a mixture of... Yeah, because that's the other thing. Like, if you're doing something like... One of the ways that you can usually tell in animation that something is 3D animated in 2D animated animation is that the 3D object has... They have a tendency to sort of fall to the temptation to move the object at a much higher frame rate, or move it much more smoothly, or take advantage of the strengths of 3D animation where you're like, you can get the computer to generate more frames for you. I really like this spinning shot, because this spinning shot is like, it's like a 2-frame cycle, which is about as simple as it gets. I might have added some speed lines or like some smearing to it in like a little 2D animation pass over top of it to like really sort of sell the motion and movement of it. But I like that it is this jagged. Like, if it's a 3D model that they're using, and it really looks more and more like that for some of these shots. Yeah, I think it is. Then they've, like, the animators have done a really good job of picking a frame rate that aligns with what they probably would do if they were animating it in 2D, right? Like, so that it fits, so that it composites well into the rest of the show. And that's kind of a difficult thing to do. Like you're very deliberately choosing to emulate some very specific limitations of 2D animation. I quite appreciate that. That's cool. I like the blood smear on the ground as well. Like, what a nice dramatic visual. And then, pièce de résistance. Let's make some fun of Christian conservatism while we're at it. Why not?
Why the fuck do you drive like that, You see, Mox, look, I didn't kill him. He's too much of a prick to die.
I'm late. I have to get there.
Get where?
My son. Today is his 18th birthday.
All right, you see, sir? This poor man just wanted to be there for an important milestone in his son's life.
I need to be the first one there to blow him.
No. Hey. That has the joke has to be that he means something else, right? Oh, okay.
Why the fuck do you drive like that? You see, Mox, look, I didn't kill him. He's too much of a prick to die.
Let me just put off that moment for a second. And just appreciate Blitz's little talking animation here. I like that little head shake. And like the hand gesture. Like it's a very it's a series of like relatively subtle movements, but they read quite well in the frame because they're keeping so much of the rest of the frame relatively still around him. Like that's well well put together.
Too much of a prick to die.
I'm late. I have to get there.
Get where?
And again, like the animation on the man. Like, especially look at his head and the face, the way that that's animated. Like, the animator's doing a lot of good work. With, like, the heft of his jaw and, like, the sort of thickness of his body. Like this, right here, like this, like, raising up, clutching his chest in pain. The gasp, like, the way they're using the double chin to, like, really sort of sell the tension of the posture. That's really good. In service of... It's really good animation in service of something. But it's really good. Like, that's really nice talking dialogue animation. Like, sort of hunched over, crunching in on himself.
My son. Today is his 18th birthday.
I like how much the son is such an obvious douchebag and a terrible driver.
All right, you see, sir? This poor man just wanted to be there for an important milestone in his son's life.
I need to be the first one there to blow him.
Props to the voice actor for delivering that with so much conviction. And again, like, the animator is really putting in like some real fucking sauce into, like, it's this anguished yell, right? Like, there's, I need to be the first one there to... Right? Like, you can see how much they're working with, like, the neck, sort of doing a turtle thing, like, really extending the neck out. So, like, blow! Right? Like, what a thing to have him say, but that's a really good... Hi, Artemis. How you doing? Please don't step on keyboard. No. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. My love. My baby girl. Precious angel. Please go to the little basket and sleep there. Yes, good girl. Very good. Very good. Very good.
I'm there to blow him. I'll blow him.
Excuse me. Just wanted to be, but don't wanted to be, but don't wanted to, but don't wanted to be, but don't wanted to, but don't wanted to, just wanted to be there for minute for the there, but be there for an important milestone. His son sinning on in his sinning on in his sinning on in his son's not sons, not sons, not sons, not sons, not sons, not sons.
first one there to blow him.
Is he, sir?
Okay, let's move on.
Excuse me.
Oh, now what you need to do is learn how to drive right, dick.
That's it!
Well, you didn't want me to kill him, so I'm not gonna fucking kill him. I hope you have a newfound respect for me or something.
But he's going to blow his son!
Yeah, I told you that when he first cut me off. Now get in the car.
I don't know what I expected from this short. I thought it was going to be like haha road rage jokes and Blitz sort of anger issues driving some driver was really I don't know what I expect I don't know what I expect I don't know what I expected from this I'm a little thrown. I'm a little thrown. A bit.
You know, he never signaled. Not once, the whole time.
The whole time.
And what the fuck was with that U-turn?
What a prick!
Right? Drivers, am I right?
I'll tell you what, he could U-turn right back up my ass.
Yeah. How about a hand signal? No, not that hand signal, sir. This one. Oh, sir.
You know, it's never the drivers like him that get T-boned. I mean, we're from hell, and this guy sucks.
Mr. Wrath. I will remember this. Is the okay? Well, he had the balls to voice the character himself, so I'll give him that. Is he really called DRIVESO? Okay. Akira Hernandez. Holy shit, that's a cool name. Yeah, there's okay, so they're definitely worse. Well, like as I expected, there was 3D animation in this thing. Which again makes sense. Like when you're working with cars are bastards. I will say, it does tickle me a bit that Vivian Medrano apparently is still actively doing editing on the show. Special thanks, Lyle's Authentic Road Rage. Okay. Okay. So, like, what a contrast with the previous short. What a contrast with the previous short, because like the previous short is like we're still like most of the shorts we're in jokey joke territory, we're just kind of fucking around, we're shit posting, we're having fun. The previous short still did illuminate something about Luna's characterization a little bit, like sort of like that she has a soft heart, that she kind of wants to find someone that she can be authentically vulnerable with, and then it makes a joke out of it, but like it was doing like a little bit of character building for who she is. This is not so much that. This is much more just kind of about. I guess again, I've never had. I don't have a license. I don't drive cars. I don't need to because I live in a civilized country. But so I've never had road rage. I don't know what that's like. I don't know, like, I don't know what the thing is that this is satirizing, right? Because, like, clearly part of the joke is on Blitz, right? Like, because, yeah, this guy's driving like a very particular kind of asshole. But also, like, in engaging with his road rage, right? Like, Blitz makes everything worse, right? Like, so there is a little bit of characterization there, and there's a little bit of, like, characterization between Blitz and Moxie, that, like, we have this Moxie trying to negotiate with Blitz's anger, right? Like, trying to push him away from a rash course of action, but the way that he does that is by trying to negotiate with him, like, by trying to rationalize with Blitz things which are not really, like, which have no connection to his rational brain whatsoever. So, like, there's a little bit of like expansion on their relationship as characters, that they have this shared pleasure in violence, but that there are these, like, fundamental, like, there's a little bit of characterization there. It's just clearly not what the thing is about at all.
To do is learn how to drive.
I do like also that the characters are just as perplexed by what he says as I am. Let me just, hang on. I'm gonna turn off the subtitles here. That's a sexy little saunter animation for Blitz. Like, in the way that it's using, like, really paying a lot of attention to the swish of the tail and using that to, like, accentuate his motion and movement. When I say sexy, by the way, like, as animation. And also, like, Blitz fuckers, I'm sure, find, like, this little secondary motion of the tail very attractive. But it is very well used. Like, I've talked about this with Hell of a Boss before, that they are very good at using the tails of the imps as, like, expressive elements of the character. Not just in terms of, like, oh, the tail is shaking when they get angry or whatever, but as a way to accentuate the movement and motion of the character and, like, help place them in the world. Right? Like, that little tail swipe there as Moxie gets angry. And, like, you can see, this is one of those things that you can cheat with a lot, because you see how much longer the tail gets all of a sudden here? It pulls to the right, but it doesn't pull to the left nearly as fast. Like, they're doing a lot of stuff with, like, getting away with little stretches and things, like, to really accentuate, like, the whip-like motion of it. Lovely smear here as well.
Yeah, I told you that when he first cut me off. Now
Again, emphasizing the swoop of Blitz's motion as he, like, gets into the car. I do love the use of the tails. Here's another little bit of sort of passive characterization. Moxie puts the seatbelt on, Blitz doesn't. Like, again, there's little things in there, right? Like, that sort of showcase the differences between the characters and their approach to things, the way they are in the world. I've said this many times before, like, the way a character passively sort of offhandedly does object work, interacts with objects or their environment, like, that's a big source of, like, character creation and understanding in animation, and I do like the little swoop of the seatbelt over.
You know, he never signaled. Not once.
Nice little head shake.
The whole time.
The whole time.
And what the fuck was with that?
And then, again, little bits of characterization that, like, Mox and Blitz, nonetheless, like, they bond over things. They do have, like, things in common, especially in terms of coping mechanism.
And what the fuck was with that
Profile picture alert.
U-turn?
What a prick!
Right? Drivers, am I right?
I'll tell you what, he can U-turn.
Again, like we're doing 3D work here, clearly. Shout out to the compositor for doing like, you can see it for a moment, right? You can see how the shadow doesn't render correctly on the road, and it, like, moves ahead of the car as they crest the hill. And then the compositor's, like, choosing the exact right moment to clip the car through the top of the hill to transition it from a foreground object to a background object. Again, when you're working with 3D models, like, trying to interact with, like, a 2D background like this, those are the little choices that a compositor sort of has to make, probably in collaboration with a 3D artist, to make a cinematic motion across a background like this work, and, like, transitioning from
Right?
I'll tell you
different areas of the background. It's like
turn
genuine,
right back
some
up my ass.
bunch of props
How
to
about
the
a hand
compositor for this
signal?
episode.
Nah, not that hand signal, sir. This one. Oh, sir.
You know, it's never the drivers like him that get T-boned. I mean, we're from hell, and this guy sucks.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if it specifically is meant to be part of the comedy, but just the fact that the animators put so much sauce into animating this fucking freak. Right? Like, clearly, like, because, like, Blitz and Mox are animated fine. This guy gets, like, a level of full animation and, like, artistic attention to his motion and his movements that's, like, very much visually, aesthetically, in terms of how much effort is being spent on him. He's kind of the main character of the short.
My son.
And it does help heighten the comedy, right? It does help heighten the comedy a little bit. That, like, aesthetically, the aesthetics of the short is saying, this guy, so much animation is spent on him, on his acting, on his movement, on his motion. The things that he's saying are, like, the important emotional climax of the
His 18th birthday.
of the episode, and then
First one there to blow him. I'll blow, I'll blow, I'll blow, I'll better to blow, I'll better there to blow, better those first one, those first Williams need to be.
like, then the thing that he says, like, so the fact that they spent so much animation sauce on the guy, and the fact that this is who the fuck he is.
Be the first one there to blow. I'll blow him.
See, sir, see, sick, you see, sick, you see. You see, sick, 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 you see, sick.
You're CC sick. The fact that they spend so much animation sauce on him, and this is, like, his dramatic moment, right? Like, this is his main sort of dramatic contribution to the thing. That's a little meta joke that I quite enjoy. It's like that. Yeah, that works. Like that. Oh boy, they animated him a lot better than the human guy in the last one. Like, for one thing. Oh my god. Fucking hell, Spindle Horse. But, like, yeah. I think I've said this before, but, like, Hello Boss started as much more of this all the time, right? Like, there was much more in, like, the first season of it. There was much more of this of, like, this is an edgy ass sort of like offensive humor 2000s Newgrounds sort of South Park inspired shit post of a series that's, like, mainly a vehicle for doing a whole bunch of, like, offensive social commentary thing, right? That's sort of where Hell of a Boss started. Like, the pilot was literally just, let's kill an orphan, right? Or kill a beautiful child. Like, it's child murder is funny, ha ha ha. It's that kind of edginess. What they sort of seem to have done as the seasons have worn on, and it's become more and more of a soap opera, right? It's become more and more of a soap opera. It's become more and more of, like, just like an emotional character drama. They sort of seem to have gone, we still want to do all this sort of offensive shit posting and stereotypes and shit like that, and this
First one there to blow him.
but they've sort of shifted a bunch of that, like the gag comedy, like the stuff that's like we have one stupid joke and we want to spend 5 minutes on it. They've sort of shifted that into the shorts a little bit, and I think that's a good strategy to sort of preserve that aspect of the series without wasting, in large air quotes, space in the main episodes to do it. Like, that's dramatically, in terms of like just trying to pace that out in terms of tone, that's probably a good way to do it. I would like another Hell's Bells. Like, I wouldn't mind another short that's like more about like actually exploring like a dramatic, sentimental character moment between some of the underserved characters in the show. But like, yeah, if you're gonna still do this sort of South Park level offensive humor skit thing, and I'm not saying that is necessarily so derogatory. South Park is, I mean, I don't want to give commentary on South Park. It's a thing. It's a cultural institution that's lasted for like 30 years. Let's leave it at that. Like, sequestering that over in the shorts is probably a good place for it, because like at that point, 5 minutes, that's all you need for the stupid joke, and then it doesn't have to affect like the rest of the episode, right? Like, you can sort of seal it away from it. So probably dramatically a good thing to do. Although, yeah. I will say the joke is on me, right? Like, that's another thing I do kind of like about the construction of the joke here is I don't think anyone saw this coming, right? Like I don't think anyone watching this thing for the first time was like, "Oh yeah, this is where that's going." I don't think anyone like spotted that joke out before it happened, right? So the joke is kind of on the audience a little bit, because it's such an out of left field, what the fuck did I just hear? What the fuck just happened? That the joke is kind of on me for expecting anything else. And I do appreciate that a little bit. Like, that it is mining my reaction to this insane nonsense for effectiveness, and like 100%, it worked on me. I was speechless. It stunned me into silence for a moment, and that's, as everyone who watches this channel knows, not easy to do. So I guess props to the crew at Spindlehorse for the incest joke. You got me. Oh boy. Holy shit, did I talk about this thing for almost an hour? Fucking hell. I've still got it. I've still got it somehow. Boy, now I need to know about Homestuck.